Hello, hello, you cheeky buggers, how are we? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to do something a little bit different for this video today. It's something I've never really done on the channel, not quite like this anyway. You would have noticed there hasn't been too many videos going up on the channel since I got to Tasmania here in Australia. And I just wanted to update you guys on the situation. Some of you might not be aware as to why that's been the case. But things are looking up now and we're going to get back to regular videos very soon. So I'll just give you an update on the situation and my plans for the channel as well. Let's get into it. Some of you might be wondering whether I'm on a train or something right now. We're actually staying at, it's an Airbnb here in Tassie in a place called Hillwood. And it's actually a big old bendy bus and it's bloody beautiful. If you look them up on Instagram, I think it's called the Bus Hideaway. I'll give you a look at the outside. We'll go for a wander in a second, but it's so cool. Grace is here doing some photography. We're just about to leave actually, so just checking the fireplace is on its way out. Yeah, it's pretty much burnt out. So we'll take a little walk and we'll walk and talk. So I'll take you back to about 3 months ago. It was like 3 days before I was due to jump on the Spirit of Tasmania, the ship that takes you from the mainland over to Tasmania here. And I did something a little bit hasty, a little bit ridiculous. When I decided in about January at the start of the year that I was going to hit the road and travel and film and live out of the car essentially, I had a dual cab ute. And to me, a Troopy was going to be the best option because it was going to, how's the bus? It was going to provide enough room in the back of the vehicle, but also have, you know, very capable off-road capabilities. But Troopies can be bloody expensive. Even old second-hand ones still, you know, have a pretty big price tag on them. And if you look for a cheaper one, there's a good chance there's going to be heaps of rust or things wrong with it. Something came up. It looked too good to be true. Turns out it was a little bit. But I swapped my car for the Troopy. I got a couple grand my way and jumped on Spirit of Tassie, got to Tasmania, met my new partner Grace. That side of things has been amazing. We are like two peas in a pod. It's pretty crazy the way that we met, actually. That's a story for another time. So the bloke that I bought the Troopy off told me that if I needed to, if I didn't get the roadworthy done in time, he could just throw another 3 months regu on, just to allow me a bigger window to get the car ready for a roadworthy certificate. And I hit him up once I was in Tassie and I said, actually, yeah, could you do that for me? And I'll send you through the money. And he tried to, but turns out for him to renew the rego, he had to get a roadworthy certificate done himself. So now the car was in Tasmania, that was impossible. Long story short, there ended up being a lot of stuff done. I actually ended up getting the head replaced on the old petrol engine because the previous owner, or the previous owner before that, had LPG fitted. And anybody who knows about LPG these days, they can really cook the engines. I have no idea where I'm walking, by the way. I'm just going for a wander. So that was a big hold-up. To begin with, getting the permit from Tassie Parks was the hold-up. That took me over a month, nearly 6 weeks, to get that in my hands. And I had hoped that the Troopy would have been ready within that time and it wouldn't have been a problem. However, that was not the case. I need to turn around here. I'm getting carried away. So what, 3, maybe even 4 months later, I've finally taken the car for the roadworthy certificate. They showed up with a list of like 5 fairly simple and cheap things that needed doing. I picked it back up. I fixed those. It's booked in for next week. It's currently Thursday. It's booked in for Monday to get the roadworthy certificate done. And at the same time, they need to do a mod plate and change the categorization of the vehicle because I've removed the back seats. So it's changing from a bus essentially to a car or whatever. But then I'll have the vehicle. It's been really bloody crippling, to be honest, not having my own car. Grace is a bloody gem. She's more than happy to drop me wherever I need to go or let me borrow the car, whatever. But just for me, mate, like I've got anxiety, as everybody knows, and I just would feel so much better if I just had my own car and I didn't have to rely on anybody or, you know, to me, bother anybody, just so I could leave the house and drive somewhere. So there you go. So we've got the Tassie Parks permit and fingers crossed the Troopy will be registered next week. So I'll be back to doing regular videos because I'll just be able to hop in the car, shoot off for a night or two, come back, start editing. So it's almost all good and what is that thing buzzing around head? So it's almost all good and well, except it's sort of not. because this Tassie permit, it comes with a lot of restrictions. It comes with all the restrictions that just sort of cripple the content that I create. You can't walk off the track. You can't camp off the track. It stipulates that you can't even step off the track to film or photograph wildlife. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I won't get into it, but I knew that that was going to be the case after watching, Rob Parson and Levi's situation with parks on YouTube. But I just told myself, look, go to Tassie because you want to see it, get the permit, and there's so many hikes in Tassie, just do the hikes, film the hikes, that'll be great. You can do your wild camping stuff elsewhere in Australia. And that was the plan. I thought that was going to be fine, but it actually hasn't been fine at all. I've been sort of on a roller coaster of turning around again, doing a U-turn. What I've come to realize very quickly, and I've spoken about it before in previous videos, is that I'm not really a hiker in the typical sense of the word. Like, I don't enjoy putting on my little short shorts and my backpack and just hopping on a trail where everybody else is going the same way, even if there's nobody else there on the day. It just doesn't, like, I'm not Shackleton, I'm not some big explorer, but I like the unknown, and there's just no magic in it for me if I'm hopping on a trail with like established campgrounds where you camp on planks of wood, And please, that is no knock to anybody who enjoys hiking. Like, it's a beautiful way to get out into the outdoors. It's just personally, it does nothing for my soul, really. And on top of that, you would have seen, like, I get a lot of anxiety when I'm trying to film and I'm on the trails and I bump into people, and I just like go deep inside myself into this shell. I shell up. It's really hard to film. And I was putting it down to the fact that I was going out there to get away from people. But actually what I've realized over the last couple of hikes is, or especially the last one, it's actually not so much that. I don't mind actually being on the trail and bumping into people. It's that I get super self-conscious and anxious about filming with other people around. Even the idea that someone might come around the corner while I'm filming. I don't even have to necessarily see the people and be there with them to feel it. It's just the idea that I might bump into someone. And that's not why I started this channel. I started the channel to just be myself and get out into the bush. I didn't even necessarily have to hike 10, 20 kilometers to get to a camp. I just wanted to go somewhere I knew there would be nobody else and I could just relax and just hear the birds, listen to the water, whatever it might be. So the permits made it very difficult to do that. However, I'm certain that I still can do that stuff. Yes, I know it's going to be difficult in terms of not being able to step off the track, but there has to be places, just probably away from the more sort of well-known places. So that's what I'm going to do. It's been a lot. It sounds so ridiculous probably to everybody watching this, but anyway, another plan that I had for the channel, I'm going to go sit in the sun and just get washed out by the sun as I sit in this chair. You watch. Oh, not a bad view out there, hey? Look at the bus too. Now, here's the other thing I wanted to run by you guys, and please leave your feedback and your thoughts on this in the comments below. About a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, on Instagram, I was putting out feelers about whether I start a separate channel to put stuff that wasn't quite as niched down into the adventures, because I was super worried that the YouTube algorithm, that I would upset it essentially if I wasn't niched enough, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works. But I've learned a lot in the last year or so about the channel and how YouTube works and everything. And what I would like to do, and I believe that it won't be detrimental to the channel. I believe it'll probably increase the health and the success of the channel. I want to start putting up more vlog style stuff related to the adventures. So not here's me having a coffee and some breakfast and this is my morning routine. But I want to put up stuff related to the adventure, whether it's like, the days leading up to the trip and me explaining where I want to go, why I want to go there, how I found the place, things like that. Because it's stuff that you guys are always putting in the comments that you would like to hear more about. Not necessarily gear reviews in like the sort of classic YouTube sense of a gear review, but sort of just unpacking things and explaining to you guys why I use certain bits of kit. Heaps of people have been asking about the new backpack I have. So I want to be able to do videos like that, but in a less formulated way. Really, I just want I want more of a creative outlet than just here I am on the adventure. Obviously the Troopy's going to get fitted out, ready for when Grace and I hit the mainland and travel around Australia, and I'm going to film my adventures around Australia. And I think that that's content that I know I would enjoy watching that sort of content, so I'm sure you guys would. Is that true, or do you just want to watch the adventures and like, shut up mate, no one's interested? I don't know, that's where my head's at. I think this stuff has just been spawned out of sort of feeling like I've lost my way when it comes to filming in Tasmania. Now, on that, Tasmania is bloody beautiful. I have really fallen in love with the place, and my issues with the filming permit and the channel are like completely unrelated to my thoughts on Tasmania as a whole. Like, I love this place, and I will be so happy to return here after Grace and I have finished our lap, because it's so, I shouldn't sell it to you guys because you'll come and fill it up. Like, I've already added one to the population. Yeah, Tassie's terrible, don't come here. No, it's really beautiful, and it's just quiet, especially coming from Sydney. Like, so there you go. I think I've waffled enough, haven't I? Truth be told, I actually filmed this yesterday, and mate, I filmed for like 2 hours, so much waffling. Got inside, all the audio was just corrupted. No good, mate. Oh, I was pretty upset. All's well that ends well. Ladder up there, the bedroom's in there. You can have coffee and look out here at the paddy melons. Anyway, lastly, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you, because I've been so lost in life. Even when I've found careers that I liked, my noggin, mate, I reach a point where I have to move on. I can't be there anymore. And this is something that I do not feel that way about. I feel like I'm just always wanting to be creative and do another video and have another adventure. And the support from you guys, like, go down and read some of the comments that people leave. It's beautiful and it's humbling, and I love it. Honestly, I love it so much. And for those of you who are supporting me on Patreon, thank you so much. I'll get on top of how to run that thing. It's just, I feel like so many people do a better job of being organized and running these things, but me, like, I burn out really quickly. I feel overwhelmed really quickly. So just know that I do really appreciate your support massively, massively. But just everybody, even if you're not on Patreon, thank you for support. You're angels. You're all angels, each and every one of you. I mean that. I just remembered I made a coffee at the start of this to walk around looking cool in the video, and I left it here. Cheers. That's a nice coffee. Anyway, that's it. That's the update. Moving forward, let me know thoughts in comments. Take care of yourselves. Look after your noggin. Look after your loved ones. Thanks, guys and girls. Catch you on the next one. Maxie out.